Today we're checking out the brand new DJI Air 3, which is a massive upgrade from DJI, and it can do this. So here it is, the DJI Air 3, and as you can see it looks amazing with this brand new dual camera system, which we'll talk about in a second, but let's just quickly compare it to the Air 2S. If we put them side by side, you will see that there is quite a significant size difference now, not only in the body itself, but also in terms of the camera size. So starting out with the camera, of course, as I believe this is the most important feature of this drone, and we have two lenses in one body. First, we have the 1x 24mm equivalent wide-angle lens that has an aperture of f1.7 and can provide you with a lot better performance in low light situations. And then we have the 3x medium telephoto 70mm equivalent lens with an aperture of f2.8. So to me the Air 3 feels like a smaller version of the Mavic 3 Pro, mostly because it brings something that no other drone besides the Mavic 3 Pro has, and that is a 3x medium telephoto 70mm lens, which creates some super unique shots. And with the amount of compression it creates, with the amount of clearing up the background and giving you a specific focus point where you can really emphasize what you are filming, you can create some really unique shots that definitely stand out from the typical wide-angle shots that you can create with the 1x lens. Now there is a very interesting talking point when it comes to the sensor size. As we all know, the Air 2S had a 1-inch sensor, but the Air 2S was launched almost 2 years ago, and the Air 3 has a 1/1.3-inch CMOS sensor, which obviously is not a full 1 inch. However, DJI's position was that even though the Air 2S had a bigger sensor, it used only one camera and it used a previous generation technology that has now been significantly improved for the Air 3. So even though it has technically a smaller sensor size, it provides a much better video and photo quality. I'm actually working on a direct comparison between the Air 2S and the Air 3, so you can be the judge on that and let me know whether you think the Air 3 is much better than the Air 2S. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see this video when it eventually drops. Another feature which we are seeing for the very first time on an Air drone is vertical orientation. And unlike the Mini 3 Pro, when you enter vertical orientation, the camera does not tilt. It uses the same position of the camera. However, it shoots vertical video, and it's not just cropping the sides of your video and providing you with a portrait orientation video that you can use to post on your social media. It actually gains a little bit of height compared to the 16:9 orientation and horizontal mode. So it is actually beneficial to use vertical mode if you are planning to shoot something for social media and you wanted to have portrait orientation. If you compare the footage from horizontal video and vertical video, that some people will argue that it's just cropped horizontal video, you can actually see that you're gaining a little bit of height both from top and bottom, and some portions of the video where it will be cut are now visible in vertical orientation. So that's pretty good, and it actually makes a difference. Vertical orientation is available in 2.7K 30 frames per second, so you can use that in all sorts of different modes. It's not only for photo, it's for video as well, for hyperlapse, for any other intelligent flight mode that the drone has. You can use vertical as well. In normal video mode, the maximum resolution and frame rate you have on the Air 3 is 4K 60 frames per second, and both lenses support 10-bit video in D-Log-M and HLG. If you want to shoot slow-mo footage, you can do that in 4K 100 frames per second. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of shooting slow-mo with a drone, but of course sometimes it comes in very handy. But for the most part, I feel like 50 or 60 frames per second, which is the norm, is plenty of frame rate to use on a regular basis, so you can even slow it down in post. The Air 3 shoots 48 megapixel photos, which is great, but personally I don't find it to be that necessary in everyday situations. Of course, if you want to crop in to 100%, you will see the difference compared to the 12 megapixel photo, but the size difference is also 4 times as large. So you need to take that into consideration and just think about your personal usage of these photos. For regular shots, I really don't find it to be necessary. However, for some scenarios, 48 megapixels can be really handy to have. Another interesting feature that this drone has is a much improved panorama, and the AI algorithm that stitches the panoramas and does the hyperlapses is actually much faster and much improved compared to what it was before. So now you don't have to wait as long to get that finished result. And the great thing about panoramas is that they are now 2.5 times larger than the Air 2S. So the Air 2S had a maximum panorama size of 8,192 pixels by 4,096 pixels, whereas on the Air 3 you have a panorama with a maximum resolution of 13,000 pixels by 6,500, which is huge. I'm actually super surprised to see that all the smart features now work with tracking as well, which is for the very first time on any DJI drone. So now you have the freedom to select all the different camera parameters that you want, such as resolution, frames per second, 10-bit video, when selecting different smart features such as active track, point of interest, spotlight, APAS, master shots, quick shots, waypoints. All the things that you can use on this drone are configurable with all the camera settings that you want. Nothing is being limited, nothing is being cut off, and you can use everything you want. When it comes to the flight time, the Air 3 can do up to 46 minutes in the air, which is 48% more than what the Air 2S had. If we take a closer look at the DJI RC2 that comes bundled with this drone, we will see that it looks very similar on the outside to the DJI RC. However, this one is just a little bit more different as it now supports the O4 transmission system, and it comes with these antennas here on the top. And that is because this remote now has 6 antennas in total. So 2 transmitting and 4 receiving, allowing you to have a superior transmission system, which means that this drone can now cover up to 20 kilometers in FCC mode and up to 10 kilometers in CE mode, which is simply insane. This remote now supports 2.4, 5.8 and 5.1 gigahertz frequency bands, and 5.1 gigahertz is only available in some countries yet. Really depends on the region and the laws and regulations in that specific country. One thing that I really like about the Air 3 is the fact that it stepped up its game compared to the Air 2S when it comes to the obstacle avoidance, which is now omnidirectional, which means that the drone can now detect and avoid obstacles automatically by itself from all possible angles, whereas on the Air 2S previously we didn't have those sensors covering all different sides. There were some blind spots which are now being fixed, and now the Air 3 is a lot smarter when it comes to detecting and avoiding obstacles. Another thing which I noticed straight after I started flying the Air 3 for the very first time was that the maximum ascending and the descending speed were a lot faster than I was used to, and DJI let me know that this maximum ascending and descending speed has now been increased to 10 meters per second, both for going up or going down. And just as a comparison, the Mavic 3 Pro, which is DJI's flagship drone, can go up with a maximum speed of 8 meters per second and go down with a maximum speed of 6 meters per second. So this is quite the increase for the Air 3 now. This is the charging hub for the Air 3 batteries. It's a brand new design, and as you can see on the bottom here on the back side you have these little latches which if you press you can eject the battery. It's not very easy to do, but if you don't press them, there's no way to eject the battery. It stays safe and secure here, and I was a little bit surprised why my batteries don't come out of the charging hub at first, and then I noticed these latches, and using them, of course, everything works. Another interesting feature of the charging hub is that when there is no external device connected to the battery charging hub, such as your remote for example, you can long press the function button and you will trigger the power accumulation function, and that function allows you to transfer the remaining power of the batteries with lower power to the battery with the highest remaining power to charge them faster. DJI seems to be putting a lot of effort into their Lightcut app, which is their recommended video editing app, which wirelessly connects your drone to your phone and then uses AI to automatically edit your footage by using its metadata to detect location, theme, and editing style. All you need to do is select the clips you want to use, and then the app will analyze them to detect moments where the movement is nice and smooth, and then include those shots in a template of your choice. The app even adds a separate sound effect track automatically to make your video feel a little bit more alive. You can then customize the video by changing the music, add filters, effects, text and stickers, adjust the order or the length of your clips, or simply export the video as it is to quickly get a full 4K video on your phone. As for pricing, if you want to buy the Air 3 with the basic RC2 remote controller, which is the one without the screen on it, that will cost $10.99 US. The Fly More combo with that same remote, the RC2, will cost $13.49. The Fly More combo with the RC2 with the screen and the antennas on top is $15.49. And if you want to separately upgrade to the RC2 later, you can do so for $369. I'm really curious to hear your feedback about the Air 3, and if you plan to purchase one, please use the link below. It will be a massive help for my channel as it helps me produce more videos like this one. This took a long time to put together, so I would really appreciate your support. With that being said, guys, this is everything I have for you. Thank you so much for sticking until the end of the video. This is Mike from Drone Supremacy. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one very, very soon. Ciao.